Welcome everybody. This is Tatiana Noel, aka E Dirty Tati, your host for tonight's race, and we are here at Autopolis for round 2 of season 6 of the GT Champions World Cup, brought to you by Metropolis, detailing group RWB High Pre and GTC TV, where you can reach out for all of your commentating needs. Are we running behind? Let's see. Why don't we go ahead and get to the main screen here. Looks like we've got most people are entered and they should be ready to go any minute now. So we'll go ahead and get on board with somebody and make sure all of our things are displaying so that we are able to take in the race here tonight. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hope I am heard. Let's see. We have all of the inputs have sound. Yay! Last week, if you were here with me, you couldn't hear me, which is unfortunate because it was an incredible race, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty good commentary. I'm just saying, I did a pretty good job. Hate that I missed out, or hate that you missed out on hearing it. I heard it, and I guess that lives with me from now on. It's pretty dark, it looks like, at Autopolis today. Our weather for the race is very cloudy. There shouldn't be any rain, just a cloudy weather option here, which makes the track a little bit cold. People will be struggling for grip. I expect the mediums to do really well out here in the cold with that. The softs might wear a little prematurely here. This is a pretty technical track. We have at least one long straight, the front straight. And then the second straight, which is also known as the roller coaster straight, relatively short. Other than that, you are pretty much always sawing on the wheel at this track. That was Nico we were on board with. Here is S7, Let It Rip, coming into the final turns of this, well, I don't know if I would say Autopolis is famous. Maybe infamous is the word I'm looking for when it comes to Autopolis. You know, we'll talk more about that maybe later in the stream. I just want to point out that, yeah, it's a little, it's got history. Anyway, let's go to the top here. Obviously, it's time for racing. No more talking. Well, more talking, except we're talking while watching racing. Duh. Let's do this. It seems incredibly dark out there. I don't know if it's just a camera angle with the headlights, but I think maybe so. But here we are, G-Bub leading the way, S7 behind him. Let's make sure everyone gets through okay. We have one person off track. We have a couple people off track. Do they have damage? Let's see. Anyone with damage? No damage, so we will say race on for now. That's unfortunate. Let me make sure they know to race on. Race on. I don't know if I'm really allowed to say that. Yeah. Whatever we're saying, it's happening. It's being said. It's being said. But we got 3 people already in arrears. G-Bub, who was in first place, Nico and Scrammon. All 3 of them went off track and lost their way. Can't seem to get replays to work. I'm starting to think it's my keyboard. I thought it was the game. It may be the keyboard, and that is on me. I'll see if I can fix it during the race. But leading now is S7, the Truth Serum. S7, Let It Rip in second place, followed by Cyclone Dan in third place. They are in the Hyundai Genesis GR3. A race car that sometimes is pretty popular. It was added in GT Sports, if I'm not mistaken. Uh-oh, just dropped my controller. That's what that noise was. Sorry, guys. Breaking my only PS5 controller. That doesn't seem like a good strategy for doing race commentary. The Truth Serum already eking out a good gap from S7 and Cyclone Dan, by the way. So that's already developing up front. Then a gap to Kabazuri in 4th place. Flash in 5th. Hardwire in 6th place, and Nuke in 7th, Nuko TTJ set. I don't even know. Is that how? Okay, TTJ set in 8th place, followed by J-Rod in 9th. ATK 037 in 10th. Then Black Friday in 11th. Then you've got a huge gap between Black Friday and Grumman in 12th place. Of course, another big gap between him and Nico. Here is G-Bub trying to make his way back up the order here. Again, unfortunately, just got sent off track in the first turn. Not sure if he got sent. Maybe hurt himself. I'm not sure. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but he is now racing from the back instead of the front. Whew, it begins. It begins, you guys. So, I have a grid order for this lobby and others. I won't pull it out just now. Of course, we're still watching that intro, what's the word I'm looking for? The introductory action. We don't want to miss anything, obviously, so we'll stay on board, but I will show you what the grid order was for this track, for this round, rather, as soon as I can. Brought my mic in a little bit closer, so my voice should be clearer. I don't know why I had it so far away. Obviously, you want to be close to me, and I want to be close to y'all. Flash, better be careful. Hardwire's coming. That looked a little aggressive there, coming into the final turns of the lap. And now, on that big, long front straight, Hardwire squarely in Flash's slipstream. Is he going to make a move? No, he's going to go ahead and stay behind him and brake safely for turn 1. Turn 1 braking is a little bit tricky. It is downhill, and then the corner itself seems to be a little bit cambered away from the apex, so easy to go out wide in turn 1, as we saw in that very first lap. Saw several people go out wide and end up off track. Off track out here, incredibly slippery. I promise you that grass, I swear it's always wet. I don't know. Something about it. Autopolis grass is the most slippery grass in the history of grass. So, you don't want to go off track here at all, anywhere. There's not a single point in this track where you want to go that doesn't have tarmac on it, because if you do, you will lose out greatly. Our top 11 still pretty close to one another here. Grumman in 12th place, a little bit further back. G-Bub has gotten around Nico. Nico 4.5 seconds back, which is quite a bit here, but hopefully he's able to catch up. The truth, those headlights on, it is pretty dark on the track, isn't it? It seems almost like nighttime. Let's see if I can find... Wow, what is that gap? 3.2 seconds from the Truth to Cyclone Dan. They are not on different tires, by the way. That is pure pace from the Truth Serum. Truth always pretty pacey, pretty fast here in Lobby 2. I believe I commentated on him in Lobby 1 last season. It's hard to remember. It is hard to remember. Let me see if I can find that weather, though, because it's important. It's important. In the meantime, Hardwire and Flash going at it. Of course, we saw in the last lap, Hardwire was coming up against Flash, but it looks like they have been fighting a little bit, because we've got a third person in the mix. Nuke, also a 7-letter rip, also J-Rod. So this is a 4-way battle for 5th place, for 4th place rather. Flash still holding on to it, just leading the way, but lots and lots of cars bunched up behind him here. Autopolis isn't the easiest place to pass. For one, you have all these long sweeping corners where downforce is at a premium, and so following closely behind someone, you get a little bit of aero wash, and it can be detrimental to you staying close to that car. However, these guys doing a great job. To that end, there aren't that many corners that you can easily dive in and get a pass. Turn 1 is one, obviously. Here we are coming out of the roller coaster straight into, what is this, T13? Not T13, obviously, but T11 and 12 coming out of that. There's 18 turns at this track. Only a few of them are named T1. In fact, it's just called first turn. The hairpins are just called the first and second hairpins, and then you've got the final turn. Other than that, nothing else has a name. Oh, I lied. That's not true. Turn 8 is called 100R, and there after turn 10, that second hairpin is the roller coaster straight. It is downhill. You can see why it's called the roller coaster straight here. Flash still keeping that 4th place, but here comes S7 Nuke to outbreak him into turn 1. Is he going to make this pass stick? Yes, he is able to hold on to that. Apexes it perfectly, gets out, and Flash can do nothing but watch that position slip away. Now, will Hardwire see that and take it as encouragement to try his own pass? Will Nuke get away from these guys? Because Nuke actually did a great job. He was in arrears of this battle and ended up front of it. Is he going to be able to catch up to Kawazuri, who's already 5.5 seconds up the road in 3rd place? Quite big gaps forming from the front here. Truth in first, 3.7 seconds ahead of Cyclone Dan, who's 2 seconds ahead of Kawazuri, who's 5.5 seconds ahead of Nuke. So this middle battle right here is as close as it gets. J-Rod is not too far from that himself, 1.1 seconds back, with TTJ set right behind him. Black Friday not far behind either. Ooh, I hear noises. That was Gremlin crashing. Oh no! G-Bub is going to wait. Looks like maybe G-Bub was involved in that. Gonna give him a little love tap to get him going. Nico gets around the two of them. So these two getting into something. Can we see it? No, we cannot. I've got to figure this keyboard situation out. We need replays. Do the people not need replays? I think people need replays. Let's go back to that early battle, that position 4 battle. Nuke. Yeah, Nuke's starting to get away. He's got almost a second between himself and Flash. So, doing a great job there to keep that pace up. Let's see if we can find what the weather is going to be for this race schedule. Autopolis. The weather is C, that's cloudy. Cloudy 04 is just the 4th cloudy setting. I don't know what's different between the clouds, but we know it's cloudy. And then it says evening. So this is a night race. I'm sorry, it says, CO4 sunset rather. So this is a sunset race. Doesn't feel like sunset, though maybe the cloud cover is just so heavy that we can barely see the sun wherever it's headed down, I suppose. Right? The sun goes down. Comes up, it goes down. In the clouds. Let's see. Let's do some technical things here. I'm going to disconnect my main keyboard from my computer and connect it to the PlayStation. First, you gotta get the mouse connected to the computer because it is directly to the keyboard. Let's see, plug it into this USB hub here. Do I still have mouse? I still have mouse. Alright, and then the keyboard plug is here. Oh my gosh, is it very tangled up in other things? Possibly. Probably. Okay. Something's going on there. Well, let me make sure I check on the action so I don't get caught up in that. Here's Hardwire trying to Flash again. This time he's got a good run on him in the front straight here. He's going to have the inside for turn 1 and should be able to make that stick. Flash staying with him on the outside, trying to scoot him over. Ooh, 3 wide. S7 let him rip. Let it rip, got in there as well. Ooh, I don't know about that pass. That put Hardwire back to 8th place. J-Rod into 7th and Flash in 6th, and S7 takes 5th place. I think the stewards are going to want to take a look at that. I wish the replays were working. This is the time. But wow, action already. Lap 7 of this race. We are, how many minutes in? We're 11 minutes and 42 seconds into our 2-hour race. And already the action is this hot. So J-Rod up into 8th place, and now J-Rod squarely in that fight. Flash losing another position there, of course, from 5th to 6th to Let It Rip, and Let It Rip in 5th place, having come out ahead. Nuke is nowhere to be found. Nuke is 3.3 seconds up the road after making that pass on Flash a couple of laps ago. So Nuke getting pacey. He's not that much closer to Kawazuri. He was 5.5 seconds last to check. It's 5.3 now. However, he is absolutely running away from the battle behind him, which makes sense because they are battling. S7 got up front in an attempt to get away from that battle. I didn't see anyone go off track. I think maybe there was a little rubbing, but it sounds like, or it looks like S7 might have been getting a little frustrated at waiting behind everyone. Now y'all help me get my keyboard unplugged. It's in the things. It's everywhere, guys. It's everywhere. That is J-Rod watching Hardwire go to the outside of Flash, sorry, the inside of Flash into turn 1, and he finally gets that pass done. So Hardwire into 6th ahead of Flash. So Flash down from 4th to 7th in just a few laps. That has got to be encouraging to J-Rod. And of course, he's also seeing the gap that's being pulled out every time someone passes Flash. Way ahead there is, not Hardwire, Let It Rip is ahead of Hardwire there. The headlights, the taillights, you can just see in the forescape there. And so J-Rod is looking, and yep, he's going to go ahead and make that pass on Flash. We saw Flash a little bobble in the second hairpin. That gave J-Rod a chance, and here he is now Flash down to 8th place. Does he have any breathing room behind him? Barely. He's got about a second to TTJ set. And Black Friday right behind him. So this middle pack, this mid-pack order changing quite a bit here. Lots of positional changes every lap that we can see. And I hope they stay close so it continues. We want to see more of that. Seeing and hearing some bobbles from other drivers here. I can't tell if anyone was in danger of losing a position after that. Couldn't tell who it was. It was just a set of headlights. Who was in the blue car? I believe it was a blue car that had a moment. I think it looks like ATK 037 because now G-Bub is all over the back of him. G-Bub has not really made it that far up the track. He went from last to 12th. Of course, he got into it with Graham a few laps ago, as remember, as you recall seeing, and had to slow up to give the position back. That's probably hindered him, but now he is past Nico and into 12th place, and now looking to take the position from ATK as well. They're not too far from that mid-pack battle, so if G-Bub can get up there and start scotching cars, he's got a chance to recover some of this race. Plenty of time. Alright, we have got a new keyboard connected, and I just heard my PlayStation acknowledge it, so let me see what we can do here. Let me find out. There's no longer that input option, so let's just see. I got nothing. Well, we tried. tried. If I recall correctly, not here, in GT Sport, there was an option here for keyboard inputs. And I don't see it here, and I'm not sure how to get to it now. I did read the manual, and it doesn't mention the Gran Turismo manual. Yes, there's a manual online. It didn't mention having to do anything to get the keyboard recognized, so not sure what that's about. Unfortunately, though, I can't seem to get that feature working. I'm gonna have to work on it this week and try to figure out what I may be doing wrong, or maybe it's a matter of restarting the PlayStation. I hope not. It did recognize the keyboard as plugged in, but oh well. Flash is in 8th place and has lost touch with Hardwire completely. He's 4.2 seconds back. Meanwhile, J-Rod has gotten ahead of Hardwire, so they're traveling together and chasing S7 Let It Rip. So it looks like our little mid-pack has broken up a bit. Nuke was the first to break free of it, and he is way up the road, 5.7 seconds compared to S7 Let It Rip. Then you've got J-Rod behind Let It Rip by 1.2 seconds, and of course Hardwire right on his bumper as we just saw. That's Flash way back there leading that second pack there. So that's our new mid-pack, is Flash leading it once again, and again just basically bunching cars up behind him. Not sure what's going on with his pace here, but it hasn't been great in the opening laps of this race. Lap 11 now, and only 19 minutes in. Don't think I've ever raced Autopolis at night. Though I haven't raced Autopolis a lot, honestly. I find the track to be somewhat infuriating. It's a pretty difficult track. Technical, I would say, not difficult. Hard to master for sure. Even getting through the track unscathed can be a bit of a challenge. I can only imagine what it's like here at night with it being so dark and you not being able to see that well. Though I suppose you can turn the brightness up. Ooh. Maybe, can we do that? Since you let me do that from here, I'd love to cheat a little bit and turn my brightness up. So that I can see, you know? I'm having trouble seeing. This is Black Friday going through the last couple turns. It's turn 17, and then this kink here is turn 18, and now onto the back straight, and he's got someone right behind him. That is G-Bub, who got a much better run out of that. G-Bub into 9th place now. He's going to give him a bump draft because G-Bub is trying to get away from Flash. How did he get in front of Flash? What happened, Flash? Flash was in 8th place last we checked, and now he is in 10th. So, again, that mid-pack moving past him. This is G-Bub coming through turn 2 and 3. Is he going to make a pass into turn 3? Looks like he is. Very easily done there by G-Bub over Black Friday. And so Black Friday loses a position. Flash has lost a couple positions, but he's right there. Maybe he doesn't want to lose anymore. Maybe this is where his pace is, 10th place. Looking at the map in the upper right-hand corner, we've got a good amount of separation between drivers. The truth is that one lone arrow so far ahead of Cyclone Dan and Kazuwari. Kazuwari and Cyclone aren't too far from one another. Too far. That's Cyclone. That's Kazuwari right behind him. So this is a battle for 2nd place here. Maybe they could try to work together to reach the truth, but I mean, that's a tough proposition. The truth is 10 seconds up the road from Cyclone Dan. So the truth showing incredible pace at Autopolis. He must be a favorite track of his, or at least, you know, he's done a lot of practice. So well done by the truth there to make his way up there. Let's see, let's look at our grid order here. In Lobby 2, we saw G-Bub in 1st place, Black Friday starting in 2nd in the race. S7R Let It Rip in 3rd the Truth in fourth, who's now leading the race, as we saw. This battle for second might be heating up. Cyclone Dan started out in 6th place. He's now up to 2nd. Kawazuri rather. I skipped. He is in 5th place, or started in 5th place rather. Now, as you see, is up to 3rd. Nico started after Cyclone Dan in 7th. Then Hovercraft, who did not make the race. Nuke following Hovercraft in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th place. Hardwire was in 10th, and he's made his way up as well. He's up in 7th place behind J-Rod, who is starting to run away from him and now is starting to harass S7, Let It Rip. After Hardwire was Grumman, who we saw is towards the back. I think is all the way in the back now. Yes, Grumman in last place. Flash, who we saw battling for 4th place, and now he's made his way to 10th, down to 10th. Started after Grumman. TPJ Set in 12th place. J-Rod was 14th rather, and ATK 037 was set to start the race last. So we've had a lot of changes in the grid already in the race. Why don't we get back to it? So I promise you guys didn't miss anything. I promise. I'm still here with Cyclone Dan and Kawazuri. Behind them, Nuke has just been in no man's land for the longest time. Ever since escaping that mid-pack battle, he has just been racing alone. He is a little closer to Kawazuri now. It's 4 seconds, whereas several laps ago when he first made that pass, it was 5.5 seconds back. Maybe that comes from Kawazuri being behind Cyclone Dan. It doesn't look like they're fighting, though, so I don't know how much that has slowed him down. However, Nuke catching up a little bit. Now it's 3.8 seconds, so Nuke catching up a lot of it, actually. Very interesting. We still have a while before anyone starts to pit for fuel and or tires, but I'm seeing a pretty good amount of tire wear on folks' cars, a surprising amount, actually, which I guess it shouldn't, because I did mention that Autopolis has a lot of turns, very little straight, and with it being nighttime, the track is going to be pretty cold. It was cloudy, so that has covered up what sun there was, and now it's just straight up nighttime. So that track will be cold. There'll be a lot of slipping and sliding, which is going to increase tire wear. Kawazuri and Cyclone well separated now, 1.5 seconds between the two of them. J-Rod on S7 though, looking for that 5th place spot. J-Rod has steadily been making his way up the order of the track. Now, grid order, by the way, is not set based on your results from the last race. There's a little change this season. Grid order is now set by your fastest lap in the last race, and that is why you'll see here, if we go back, you've got a mixture of Pro, Pro-Am, and Am drivers in the lobby. That is because, you know, anyone, regardless of level, can achieve a great lap time. So if you got a great lap time in the last race, then you got a great position in this race, great starting position. Now this was done to help ensure that our rooms stay full, rather than having everyone stay in the lobby that they were assigned from the very beginning of the season. We have decided to do it like this. This was first tested in the BMW Cup, and it worked pretty well to get our lobbies full. And it seems pretty good to keep the lobbies mixed up here. We still have a lot of cars that are close by one another. We got some good battles going on. And hopefully, that continues. Do we have an AM driver in this lobby? Yes, Grumman is our only AM driver in this lobby. We have a few pros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pros in the lobby, and it looks like, let's see here, it looks like a few of them had penalties from the last race, so that you know, that'll do it. That'll do it. That'll bring you down to lobby 2. But it's fine. It's fine. Again, the way the points work, doesn't really matter what lobby you end up in. Well, anyway, we won't continue to get into that, because then we get into the theory of how it all works and blah, 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 and we don't need to get into that. What we need is racing like this. J-Rod, S7, still at it. I thought I saw J-Rod poke a nose in there, but it might have just been the camera angle that we were looking at. But, I mean, he does not seem like he's interested in waiting behind Let It Rip anymore. He's looking left, and he is looking right. As you can see him go through turn 4 and 5 there. As they head towards that first hairpin, turn 6. There they are right there, out of there. Who can get a better exit out of it? Looks pretty equal to me. So S7 holding J-Rod up, it looks like. This area, this section of track is very aero dependent, so it can be hard to get close enough to pass unless your opponent makes a mistake. Not hard to do coming out of that hairpin, of course. It's easy to light up the rear tires. Same for this hairpin here, the second hairpin, turn 10. And then down into roller coaster straight. And not really a passing opportunity at the bottom of roller coaster unless your opponent made a big mistake in the hairpin and you can get in there. Otherwise, you don't really slow down much for that turn. These corners here, there's not a whole lot of slowing down happening for them either. The last few, this really technical corner complex towards the end of the lap here. I think, what are those turns? 14, 15, 16. Now through turn 17 here, the long right-hand sweeper. Again, not really a passing opportunity. You want to stay on the line so that you can maximize your entry into turn 18 and therefore the front straight here. But if you do maximize that, you know, better than the person in front of you, you get a good slipstream. It's a nice long straight to give you an opportunity to get him in turn 1. J-Rod is not going to get that opportunity. S7 holds on for another lap. These two are getting it. There's Hardwire just behind them, maybe waiting for a mistake, maybe waiting for them to really start fighting. G-Bub into 8th place now, ahead of Flash. Even Flash is in 9th. ATK037 in 10th place, kind of racing alone, 6.9 seconds behind Flash. That is pretty far back there. TTJ Set, a Pro-Am driver, in 11th place. And Black Friday in 12th, just behind him, actually. So Black Friday trying to see if he can get something. He started this race in 2nd place, and it's not looking good. 10 positions lost from there. Grauman, not last anymore. He's in 13th place, about 1.6 seconds ahead of Nico. Nico started the race in 7th place, so it's not been looking good for him either. G-Bub trying to make a comeback run, is doing pretty good. He's making his way into 8th place, but the man of the hour so far has been the Truth Serum. Seriously, been leading this race ever since G-Bub and Black Friday went off track, and I think S7, Let It Rip, also went off track, so he took advantage and is taking advantage. A 12.6 second gap now between himself and the rest of the lobby. 31 minutes in, guys, so we are 1/4 of the way through the race. That means there's a lot of racing left to do, a lot of racing yet to be seen, and a lot of action yet to be had. You know what I haven't checked? Comments. Y'all been commenting? If you've been commenting, I apologize. Let me go to you. Oh, I can't go to YouTube. You know why I can't go to YouTube? I don't have a keyboard connected. Oh, yes, I can. I have a shortcut here. Ta-da! Ta-da! GT Champions. Lobby 2. That's me. Hi, Pre-Gemini says, waiting. That must have been the very beginning. Drew Griffin is rooting for BVL. Well, speaking of BVL, here's Cyclone Dan doing really, really good in 2nd place for BVL. He's been able to hold Kawazuri off. Ooh, Nuke is in the building now. That gap went from 5.5 seconds between Kawazuri and Nuke at the beginning of the race to now 1.3. Drew wants to know if everyone is on the same rubber, and I believe the answer is yes. I haven't seen anyone on a different tire. I can check. Let me see if I can check without giving it away. I just saw someone who is not on the same rubber as everyone else. I won't say who, but there is at least one person on different rubber. We got some people. Wait. Okay, I got confused. I thought that wasn't Kawazuri for a second there. Nope, that's still Kawazuri in third. I did just see someone with extreme tire wear, even on the mediums, and they will definitely feel that struggle. We're only 32 minutes in. They can't pit for tires until the 50-minute mark, and then they'll have a 20-minute window between minute 50 and 70 where they can pit for tires and fuel. And given what I'm seeing with the tire wear on the mediums, I would say that people are going to stay out longer than not, because the softs will get absolutely torn up on this track if they don't. We have a three-way battle for 10th place here. TTJ Set holding on to it, but oh, and we got a tap. We got a tap. TTK037 got a little help off track there. Who is that? I think that's Black Friday waiting for him. Ooh, he almost gets Nico, who is passing by now, to get 12th place, but Black Friday with a tap on 037. So Black Friday, man, just incredible bad luck for him. He's trying to make his way back up the order. He started this race in second place and now has to give the position back. TTJ Set actually lost out on that completely. I didn't even notice. He's down in 14th place now. So TTJ Set in last place by 2.9 seconds. Obviously is not going to be too happy with what just happened there. Black Friday still chasing ATK. Well, there was a four-way battle for 10th. That's done. Grammon has taken 10th place. Flash still up at 9th. He has lost touch with G-Bub completely. G-Bub is 4.9 seconds up the road from him. But Grammon is 13.5 seconds behind. So Flash racing alone now. Maybe could show some pace without all the pressure of having 8 cars following him, as he did several times. I saw a yellow flag there. Who is that for? Hard to tell in the dark. Here is a three-way situation for fourth. Fourth is always in contention. That is J-Rod in 4th place there, as 7 let it rip, falling behind him into 5th, and then Nuke in 6th place. So Nuke, something happened there, because Nuke was right up against Kawazuri by 1-point-something seconds. The last we checked, which wasn't that long. Now he is behind S7 and J-Rod, and J-Rod's 9.5 seconds behind Kawazuri. So Nuke falling way down the order, not way down the order rather, lost 2 positions, but way behind on track. Something big happened there, and I wish we could replay it, but replays is broken. I wonder, do I have time? Can we, let's see, what can we do? What can we do? Is there, give me an option, bro. Give me an option. Controllers, anything to do with keyboards? Nothing? Maybe in global? Demo, units, game network. Nope, I don't see anything, so we'll get back out of this. Go back to watching the race, because that's where we want to be, is in the action, not in the game settings. Wish I could get that working, guys. I will have to figure it out, because I think I was watching Chris's lobby, Chris Ball, that's Presidio Dog, if you don't know who I'm talking about. He hosts Lobby 1, or rather he commentates on Lobby 1. And he can do replays. So, like, why not me? First of all, I'm cute. So, like, I should have all the features. Period. Simply because I'm cute. Like, ask my daddy. I'm really pretty, and I think that means I deserve the features. That's how that works, right? That's how that works? That's how it works. You guys don't have to answer. I know that's how it works. Got some cars with damage out there. Nothing super significant that I can see, which is nice. This is a full damage lobby, full damage series rather. And what that means is that, what does that mean? It means that if you get damage, it sticks around. It doesn't go away. There are 3 damage settings rather in this game. You can have damage completely off. So if somebody gets hit or tapped, nothing happens in this fight here between Cyclone and Kawazuri. They are going at it. Kawazuri may be tired of being in 3rd place there. Anyway, what I was saying was 3 settings. 1, completely off. You can have no damage whatsoever. It means you can slam your car into a wall and nothing will happen to it. There's light damage, which means you will still get damage when you hit something. However, it goes away after a few seconds, which is nice. A little bit of driving and your damage disappears, so you only get punished for a little while, you know, driving around with that damage and whatever effects it might be having on your vehicle dynamics. Full damage, or heavy damage, I believe is the name of the setting in the game. Heavy damage means that the damage sticks around. Once you've got it, you have to pit to fix it. Now, you're allowed to pit to fix damage in this series. You can pit at any time to fix damage, as long as it makes sense to you. The only thing that you can't pit for are fuel and tires outside of that pit window that I talked about a little while ago. That starts at the 50-minute mark and finishes at the 70-minute mark. That is halfway through the race, or rather it's 20 minutes surrounding the halfway mark. Rather 10 minutes one way, 10 minutes the other way. And in that window, you may change tires, you can put fuel in the car, and yes, if you had any damage that you've been carrying since the first stint, you can also fix that damage. Now, some drivers will opt to pit in to fix damage immediately if they feel like it's really affecting the way the car drives and slowing them down, if they think it's worth it to do so. However, others may deem, hey, it's not affecting me that bad, I'm going to lose more time going into the pits to fix it than I'm going to lose out on track. And so they opt to stay out and just deal with it. It's easier to deal with aero damage than it is damage to suspension. Suspension damage can cause your car to pull to one side, can cause a lot of vibration in your wheel if you drive with a steering wheel, or if you are on PlayStation 5, it'll cause vibration in your controller. Actually, I think it might do it on PS4 as well, the vibration part, but I'm not sure. But you definitely have like force feedback and stuff in the triggers and the like on PS5. However, aero damage can also cause issues. You can either have less downforce than you're supposed to, or you can have too much downforce and may make the straights really difficult for you as far as speed, because you will not be able to achieve the top speed that you normally would if you were running less aero than you're supposed to. Now, this is a track where you definitely want to run somewhat high downforce. Sure, that front straight is pretty long. However, I think the lap time on this track is made in the corners. And the truth, 19.9 seconds. I'm sorry, now 20 seconds. 20.1. That is growing by a lot. Cyclone, you all right? Cyclone and Kawazuri still at it. This battle for second place here. They've been together basically the whole race. Nico was there, made his way up there after several laps, then lost it all. Now J-Rod is behind them, and that gap was 9 seconds or more, and that's cut to 5.8. So either J-Rod is moving incredibly quickly, J-Rod and S7, let it rip, are moving incredibly quickly, or Cyclone Dan and Kawazuri are moving very slowly, and it might be the latter given how big that gap to the truth has jumped. It was 12 seconds the last we checked, and now it's, you know, in the 20-second mark. That's no coincidence. Nuke has lost touch with S7 and J-Rod, by the way. Hardwire not alone. Here is G-Bub. G-Bub again making his way up the order after ending up in last place after just one corner. Lap 1, turn 1, G-Bub went to from first to last. Now up in the 8th and looking to get 7th place if he can. So far having a fantastic drive, making his way back up the order in this race. We have a little pack forming towards the back here. Black Friday. up over ATK and up over TTJ Set, who we saw end up in last place a few laps ago after getting knocked off track. Sad to see, because TTJ Set has made his way through the field pretty well as well. Pretty well also. Pretty well 2 words. English are hard. Words in English. Difficult. Kazuari showing how much better he is through those final corners than Cyclone Dan, really getting that car turned around, and he got a pretty good run out of turn 18 as well. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to make a move in turn 1, but he's definitely gaining on Cyclone Dan here as they break for the turn 1. Not hairpin, but it's pretty close. I don't think it's definitely an acute angle this turn. Kazuari making good use of that first gear in the Hyundai Genesis just to slow it down. It gets back up in the second for accelerating out of corners, but definitely going down to first to get that car braked in time for the corner. Now I am not tripping. That is J-Rod in the background, getting closer and closer, 2.5 seconds now, with S7 Little Let It Rip in tow. Little Rip. S7 Let It Rip in tow. They are catching up to Cyclone Dan and Kawazuri. Now, the pit window opens up not too long from now, so I'll go ahead and show you everyone's tire situation. I'm sure you're dying to know. So we'll start with the Truth Serum, and the Truth is on the racing mediums, and they look like this. And he's got about a quarter tank of gas left in the Genesis. It's looking pretty good, actually. Cyclone Dan with significantly more front tire wear. Rears look actually identical, but that front for Cyclone is pretty bad here. Kawazuri, who was right up against him, is now 2.5 seconds back with a J-Rod almost on his bumper, by the way. Kawazuri's tires look like this, though, so that kind of makes sense to me. That front left is completely done. And while this track does have a good mix of left and right-hand corners, it is ultimately a clockwise track. You're leaning on that front left a lot while you turn right. You've got several long-ish sweepers that go to the right, so that front left definitely gets eaten up here. J-Rod taking full advantage of that. Let's see how much speed he can carry behind him in the turn 18. They're just a few corners away from that. We'll pause right here. Kawazuri getting a little squirrely coming out of the second hairpin, turn 10. J-Rod and S7 Let It Rip right there. Not too far behind them, you've got Nuke as well, who probably wants to get back into that fight for fourth, at the very least, the fight for third, rather. I just realized Kawazuri is not supposed to be in second place, so something happened to Cyclone Dan. He's in sixth now. I don't know how I completely missed that. But yeah, Kawazuri now leads his own pack. They must have gotten into it a little bit together here. Going through turn 18 now, that long sweeping right-hander. You can see J-Rod taking a tight line through it. Let's see how he comes out of 18 in comparison to Kawazuri. Will he be able to make a run on him into turn 1? S7 is there as well. J-Rod's got to be careful. They've been working together thus far, it looks like, but S7 could try something. So J-Rod is going to go defensive into turn 1 because he saw S7 looking. But a major change in the top 3 of this race. J-Rod has made his way into third with the help, I will admit, of the soft tire. So J-Rod is the only driver on the field right now, actually, with the soft tire on the car, and they don't look bad. He's actually been managing them pretty well. I mean, certainly in comparison to Kawazuri's mediums, they've been taken care of. Oh, J-Rod is all over him. We're going to stay right here in case something happens. We can look at everyone else's tires later. But this three-way battle for second is spicy. Oh, Kawazuri almost goes off into the second hairpin. He manages to save it. What a save right there. Very, very lucky. And then, of course, they're going downhill, and so he was able to keep momentum. Oh, I think he got a little tap from J-Rod, maybe. Ended up on the outside of turn 13, or maybe turn 12, one of them after the hairpin. He's going to get the position back. J-Rod might have given that back. S7 is right there, and here comes Nuke as well. Let's see this from S7's perspective. These two cars ahead, that's J-Rod, that is Kawazuri, and just behind them, those are Nuke's headlights. So S7 with a lot to gain up front, and perhaps a position to lose behind if he doesn't play his cards right. They're in the front straight now. He's got a really good run on J-Rod and Kawazuri. He's going to give J-Rod a bump. They're still working together. Gets J-Rod up ahead of Kawazuri into turn 1. Ooh, it's tight between himself and Kawazuri. J-Rod gets there. He's not able to follow, so now Kawazuri splits J-Rod and S7, but J-Rod with the supreme braking into turn 1. S7 looking to disturb Kawazuri's line. Kawazuri is still just ahead of him as they head towards that first hairpin. Here it is right here, turn 6. Ooh, S7 getting out of that in first gear. That certainly is a decision. Kawazuri almost loses the rear end as well. Meanwhile, there goes J-Rod. Look at him. He has already sped up the road. He said, I'm out of here. You two fight it out. S7 looking to get back to his partner, to his road dog. He gets the inside for the hairpin, and Kawazuri with no choice. No, that's Nuke, actually. Where's Kawazuri? Right behind him. Kawazuri didn't give it up easy, but give it up he did. And so S7 through for P3, and maybe he can catch up to J-Rod. We'll see. But the truth is 30 seconds away from him. Look at him. He's already halfway through the front straight. He has nothing to worry about from behind right now. Nuke has made his way ahead of Kawazuri. We already missed that. Man, happens quick, don't it? Kawazuri goes from second after battling for second for most of this race so far, down to 5th place, mostly due to that pretty dead front left, and he's going to have to consider pitting pretty soon here. Even though he would like the softs to go on for less time, he's going to go ahead and jump in now and take the hint that it's time. Flash, who's up in the 7th place here, so some things have gone his way. Maybe while we were watching that fight, here's Cyclone Dan, who ran in 2nd place for so long, now down into 5th place. As you can see, he's got tire wear and front splitter damage on that car. He did not have that damage before losing 2nd place, so something definitely happened We've looked at everyone ahead's tires, right? We said J-Rod on the softs, let it rip, and Nuke's tires look great, his front tires, but he has got rear wing damage on that car, so that's been affecting his aero in some way. Not sure how exactly. Cyclone Dan, of course, we just looked at with the front splitter damage. G-Bub sits in 6th place now after falling to last. So G-Bub well into the top 10 of this race. And we're not even at the halfway mark yet. We're about 8 minutes away from the halfway mark. So well done to G-Bub. Flash behind him on the racing mediums has managed to regain 7th place. Hardwire down into 8th. Hardwire and Flash were battling for quite some time, and Hardwire was deep in that mid-pack battle for quite some time as well. Looking at the mediums, it looks about the same as most other people. We have just a few outliers. Grauman's mediums not looking great up front. That front left looking pretty dead, but of course better than what Kawazuri had going on. And he's got rear splitter damage. Also the left rear has suspension damage. So and I've seen that for a while actually, so he's been struggling with that for quite some time in the race. Nico on the racing mediums in a similar position as far as the fronts go. Pretty dead front left, and he's got ATK 037 all over the back of him. ATK looks like that. Tires are slightly better up front, so he could be carrying a little more speed through these sweepers, but as we have seen, passing is easier said than done around here. It takes a lot of patience. A lot of these battles we've seen have been many laps long because it's hard for drivers to find that that advantage to make a pass in a lot of instances. We saw with J-Rod, even on the softs versus Kawazuri's pretty dead mediums, it still took a bump draft to get him just nose ahead and able to get that second position there. Bump draft from S7, let it rip. Shout out to Racing Partnerships. Telling you what, this is Black Friday. Hasn't had a very good race so far. He's got front splitter damage, and I'm not really sure how long he's been carrying it for, to be honest with you. TTJ Set is behind him. Their tires look not similar. Black Friday's fronts are more worn than TTJ Set's, but J Set's rears more worn than Black Friday's, so that could affect him coming out of corners, certainly out of the hairpins. Absolutely. And in some of the final corners as well, turn 13 through 14, 15 complex, you can get surprisingly loose in the back there. Ooh, and a tap from Black Friday as TTJ Set passes. A little flash there. And here's Kawazuri in last place by 22 seconds, but with fresh tires, fresh racing softs, and a nearly full tank of fuel. We haven't seen anyone else pit yet. No one else really needs to. Kawazuri was just in really bad shape with those tires. S7 is not quite right up against J-Rod yet. He is somewhat caught up. J-Rod, again, doing a good job keeping those softs together. However, we're starting to see a lot of wear on that left side. That left rear has been spinning up on him, and you can see that's pretty low. I don't think we've seen anyone else's left rear get that low. But the front left, he has managed to save. I mean, we've seen some people on mediums that look very similar or worse, as in the case of Kawazuri. So J-Rod will probably hold on to those softs to the bitter end before switching to the medium tire. Though if he determines that the softs have fallen off to a point that even these worn mediums are catching him, he may try an undercut, you know, just pit sooner than some of these guys on mediums. That way you've got fresh mediums while they're still on the worn ones, and maybe could eke out some time advantage, if not even a position. I don't know if that is sound strategy advice. I hope it is, because I mean, how cool would it be if it wasn't? If it was, rather. Like, oh look, Tati's a strategist. You know. Anyway, we're gonna keep an eye out on everyone, because at some point we should see the floodgates open with everyone pitting. Now, because it is a 20-minute window, people will pit at disparate times. It happens. And I think that's what's wonderful about having the larger pit window. It used to be a 10-minute window. We did 90-minute races. Was it 90? How have I already forgotten this? I think there were 90-minute races. And the pit window was 10 minutes long, so there wasn't that much variance in in pit strategies. However, with 20 minutes, you'll see very like huge lap gaps between drivers as far as when one pitted in comparison to the other. See a few drivers with traction control on and other aids. Traction control seems prudent, especially out here where it is super easy to spin those rears up and the track is so cold. So I don't blame any of these drivers for having it on. Some people will play with it and turn it on coming out of a corner, but of course turn it off for straights and the like, believing that it does cut straight line acceleration. I know it did in GT Sport. Not sure if GT7 has done away with that, if it's a little bit better. That is something that could use some testing for sure. But in GT Sport, traction control definitely cut on and would cut engine power every time you shifted. Now the animation, the shifting animation in this game, even with traction control off, still shows that engine cut. As you can see right there, Nuke just changed gears and you saw it flash red. So it's the same animation as what you would see in GT Sport when you had traction control on. If you had traction control off, you did not see that cut, which was interesting. And we had done testing that showed, yes, acceleration was limited because of it. I am curious to know what the case is in GT7 for sure. Do we have any real battles going on? Well, Nico and TTJ maybe. Ooh, and sorry, Black Friday right there. So three-way battle for 11th here. All three of these guys, pit stops. But you can see Nico's tires are pretty bad. We just saw a pit from Graman. So Graman into the pits, pretty dead left front. 14% fuel left in that car. But let's see what's going on with these three, TTJ Nico, and Black Friday. What can you guys show us? At this point, it has got to be hard to follow the next car through these long corners. You know, between the lack of downforce and the super worn tires, Nico going out very wide there, that brings Black Friday right up to his bumper, and that is letting TTJ get away. Actually, TTJ has found a second and a half on these two here. To prove my point, it's got to be super hard to follow at this point, especially with that dead front left. That is going to affect Nico into turn 18, the final corner of the track. And I wonder if Black Friday is going to be able to get a run on him out of that corner and into turn 1. He may want to back off him a little bit just to make use of that run, just because you can't really pass in turn 18. So being super close isn't helpful. Oh, he's just going to dive inside when Nico goes out wide. That slows both of them down, though. That's letting TTJ get away, and the pass didn't even happen. So Black Friday... yeah, it felt like a low percentage move to me. Okay, that was somebody joining and leaving. I thought we lost somebody. G-Bub, our one-time leader, now into the pits. Nico into the pits. Cyclone Dan into the pits. We're starting to see it, guys. Folks are coming in to change those mediums out for the soft tire. We're a little bit past the halfway mark. No, we're at 1 hour and 1 minute. So these folks going only half the distance on the mediums, and then they're going to bring the softs out. Now, We've seen the softs can last. I don't know why I went the long way to J-Rod, but J-Rod is on the softs right now, and he's got a 3-second gap to S7 Let It Rip, who was his partner in making his way up the track like this. So J-Rod been hanging on to those softs for dear life and actually making them work for him. So he's showing it is possible to run them for a long stint. And he's not even going to pit now. He's going to take another... Nope. Sorry, I lied. He is pitting now to change for the mediums at the halfway mark. So that is inspiration for everyone else, that the softs can go the distance. However, will they be able to treat them like J-Rod is clearly treating them? Who knows? J-Rod in with 24% fuel as well. Pretty good fuel savings there. What does the rest of this field look like? Everyone seems pretty spread out. The Truth is still out on the original set of mediums. Fuel light is flashing, though I believe might be able to go another lap if he really wanted to. He's coming into the final corners now, so we'll see what our leader does. Been leading the whole race from just after turn 1 when the 3 ahead of him went off track. Coming through turn 17 and 18 now. Does he stay to the left and go into the pits? No. Looks like he's going to go another lap down the front straight. Wow, that looks really good. Who's that coming out ahead of him? That is J-Rod, who was in second place. J-Rod did not manage to come out in front of the Truth. However, he's going to have fresh medium tires versus the Truth's worn mediums. They're cold right now, of course. He's going to have to get some heat into them, but he might be able to get ahead of the Truth and slow him down just a little bit if he really wants to. If he can get ahead of him. That said, the Truth likely going to pit this lap, so he won't be able to slow him down that much. And right now, he is running out of corners to get ahead of him. And, the hairpin would have been a place to make it happen if the Truth didn't keep a tight line there. Of course, again, J-Rod's mediums cold. He's going to have to get some heat into those, and it is nighttime, so the track isn't helping. Into the second hairpin they go. The Truth nice and tight through there, down roller coaster straight. Yeah, I think the Truth is going to make out on the better here. J-Rod, a good job to come out right ahead of the leader. But of course, he's going to be on the back foot. Everyone else is going to be on the softs while J-Rod's on the mediums. While he was on the softs, he was able to bully his way up to the front from where he was. Starting second to last place for J-Rod. So he really gambled it all on getting on the softs, getting ahead of everyone, making passes, and he's done a great job doing that. And now he's just got to try to hold on to what he can hold on to in the second stint. And that's really what it's going to be. It's going to be holding on to positions, making it hard to pass, which, you know, this track is very helpful in that. However, he likely will lose some positions to folks because, again, he's going to be on the mediums versus everyone else's softs. And most people haven't pitted yet, so people's softs are going to be fresher than his mediums, technically. Though I don't know how much that matters, given, again, the softs are very soft. Does the Truth dip in? No, he didn't. He's out another lap. They are going through the first hairpin now, so the Truth stays out another lap on those mediums. J-Rod still right there on him, but unable to get ahead. Wow, the Truth just has so much pace around here. Now, this pass would not be a pass for position. I admit, J-Rod's in 10th place. If he were to get past the Truth, it wouldn't gain him anything technically on track. However, once the Truth pits, he should come out probably somewhere near J-Rod, I would imagine. And it would have been helpful to J-Rod to slow him up here. Flash into the pits. 11% fuel in that car. I expect the Truth to jump in here. I can't imagine he can go much further as he comes into the last two corners. More to the pits, ATK. We already said Flash. TTJ said, yes, the Truth, our leader, is going to jump in, and we're going to pay attention to see where he comes out. Who owes a pit stop? Oh, I think most people have pitted. I see a lot of fresh tires. Some used. Hardwire, Nuke, S7. They still have not pitted. S7 let it rip with a lot of gas left in that car. He might not have to come out of pit just yet. He might be able to stay on those mediums a little longer. Let's see. He is coming out of the final corners. Is he going to stay left and pit? Yes, he is. He's going to go ahead and pit and change that out. But good amount of fuel left in that car. 11% for him as well, just like Flash had. Hardwire needs to pit. He's still got a good amount of fuel and actually a little more rubber than Let It Rip had left. However, it just hit me that we are 2 minutes away from the pit window closing, and so he will be pitting. He won't be able to go another lap and pit. The rule is that you must be out of the pits by the 70-minute mark, and we are approaching that rapidly. In fact, it might be close for Hardwire because refueling is a very slow 1 liter per second, and he's just now getting through the final corners, and he's got a minute and a half to get this pit stop done and get past that line in time. Where did the Truth come out? First place, and by a lot. 46 seconds between himself and Nuke, who's in the pits right now. 27 seconds rather. S7 Let It Rip just got past. I wondered. I was like, well, somebody's got to be closer. So Let It Rip, 27 seconds away. Kawazuri in 3rd place. J-Rod in 4th after the pit stop shuffle here. I don't expect to see J-Rod catch up to Let It Rip or Kawazuri at all, as he is on the mediums. Nuke is 4.3 seconds behind him, so Nuke probably his closest threat on the racing softs, of course, and behind Nuke, an entire 15 seconds back, is Flash. Hardwire still in the pits. He has got about 35 seconds to get out. He is refueling. He's at 50%. There he goes. He's going to get out. He is going to make it. Talk about cutting it close. Woo. All right, Hardwire. He comes out in 11th, just behind G-Bub and Cyclone Dan. So all 3 of these guys on fresh racing softs. Cyclone and G-Bub with some heat into their softs already. A little bit of wear already on them. Nothing that should affect them against Hardwire, especially on Hardwire's cold tires. Hey, Black Friday goes purple in the 1st sector. G-Bub has the absolute fastest lap so far with a 1 minute 46 seconds, .774. I expect that to get even faster. He just did that a couple of laps ago after second lap after pitting. So he should get faster. The tires are still good. We'll see. We'll see. So everyone's pitted. Everyone's good. I'm going to do one last tire check for everyone. This is the Truth. S7. Kawazuri. Kawazuri is heavy on those tires, isn't he? He did have to pit first, though. He pit very early in the pit window. So those racing softs already showing significant wear. That front left for sure leans on it a lot. J-Rod on those racing mediums. They should stay fresh for a while. Nuke. Flash. Nico. ATK 037. Cyclone Dan. Chiba with an absolute full tank of fuel. I wonder if that hurt him. I mean, refueling is so slow. I can't help but to wonder, like, he probably would have been ahead of Cyclone, maybe even ATK 037, or at least battling with ATK if he hadn't filled all the way up. That's interesting. Hardwire looking good. We just saw him pit last pit stop, Black Friday. TTJ set, and in last place we have Grumman with us here. So I'm gonna put the ticker back on to keep the secrets, you know. And let's get ready. We're in the second stint of round 2, season 6, lobby 2 of GT Champions World Cup. We talked about our sponsors already. We did a little bit. I mentioned them. Metropolis is our main sponsor. You can check out all of our sponsor info, actually, with links and the like, on GTCHAMPIONS.com, our website. So check those out. Also on the website, you'll see that we have a few different series going. Not only this series in Gran Turismo, but we also have an iRacing event, the BMRL. It stands for Beard Motors Racing League. It's a craftsman's truck race on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Here is here's the poster. Now this one might not be up to date. It's the poster I had, but check that out on Monday nights. That is actually commentated on by Presidio Dog, who does Lobby 1, and Pixteca, our graphics guy. Pixteca getting into some commentary himself. Love to see it. Also check out the Gentlemen's GP League. It's just fun, casual weekly races. The next one will be on November 21st. The lobby will be up at 8 p.m. EST. That's Eastern Standard Time. Qualifying starts at 9:15. You can see the list of cars we'll be using this week: the AMG SLS, Aston Martin 177. I'm seeing some pretty good cars here. Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. It's gonna be a good look. Be sure to check them out this week. Again, you can find out more about these leagues and races and how to sign up for them and how to join them on GTChampions.com. Anyone fighting? Well, Flash has got an ATK 037 up his bumper. That's one. That's it. Well, we'll go back to them. ATK, Flash, what you got? Cyclone Dan not too far from them either. So, you know, if they get to fighting like this, ooh, into the second hairpin, ATK with a daring move, and he makes it stick. Ooh, got that. That brings Cyclone Dan into the mix. Flash oh, bad pun. I'm gonna do it. Flash having flashbacks. Yeah. To the first hit here. Is he going to also lose a position to Cyclone Dan? Who knows? ATK got up ahead of him though, which I think in this race, this is where you want to be, is in front of whoever. It doesn't matter who, but I don't think you want to be following in anyone's slipstream. It's just too much slippage, and you're going to wear out those front tires pretty quickly doing it, I think. I think that might be what happened to Kawazuri, as he was behind Cyclone Dan for so long in that first stint that it just wore out that front left more than it normally would. We'll see if that holds true for the second stint here, but that's my theory. We've got about 45 minutes of racing left. Maybe they come back together, but 037, Cyclone Dan, and Flash pretty well separated here. Flash did lose that position to Cyclone Dan, as you saw. It wasn't very dramatic, and I thought maybe something would happen there, but nothing happened. So we go on. We continue searching for battles. The Truth came out of those pits. He's got 34 seconds on S7. So, you know, once again, just looking like the carrot on the stick here is the Truth. S7, 8.5 seconds ahead of J-Rod, though. He has run away since he's got those softs. J-Rod now looking at both Kawazuri and Nuke behind him. Is he going to be able to hold him back for a significant amount of time? Can he create a backlog the way Flash did for much of the first stint? Honestly, the more you can slow the folks behind you down, the fewer of them that can get past you before the end of the race. So if J-Rod can make that Hyundai Genesis very, very wide, then he may have a chance. Of course, the Hyundai Genesis, the namesake of the Genesis brand by Hyundai. This is where it all started. It was a single model, a sports coupe, front engine, rear wheel drive. You had 2 engine options. A 4-cylinder, was it turbo 4? I feel like it was a turbo 4. And a naturally aspirated V6. You know what? We should look that up. I could be wrong on both counts. Maybe the 4 was naturally aspirated and the V6 was turboed. Who knows? Who knows? We're gonna find out. But anyway, Gran Turismo gave us a Hyundai Genesis race car in Gran Turismo Sport, I believe in the last year of Sport, maybe the last couple of years. What's interesting is that it was, I think the car itself had been discontinued by then. Let's see. We're gonna pull it up. We're gonna find out all the details. The Hyundai Genesis Coupe first gen came out in 2008 for the Korean market, yes, but the North American car came out in 2010. I don't know what year this is in the game. However, it was facelifted in 2011, which is what we have now is the facelift model. Okay, yes, it was a 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder and a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6. So I was right. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, when was the car discontinued? Go back up. 2016. So yeah, we got the car way later, way past the time that it was discontinued in the game, because Gran Turismo Sport didn't come out until 2017. So several years after Gran Turismo Sport came out, we got the Hyundai Genesis Coupe race car in it, which itself was several years past the exodus of the Genesis Coupe from Hyundai's lineup. Very interesting. J-Rod not doing a bad job holding out against Nuke and Kawazuri. In fact, Kawazuri has fallen back a bit. You can see him somewhat in the background there. 2.3 seconds behind Nuke. So really, this is a two-way battle for third here, with J-Rod just holding Nuke back as much as he can, defending as much as he can, as he is on the racing mediums, and Nuke has the stickier tires. Yep, as I suspected, something happened there. I just saw a message indicating that G-Bub, I had to wait for someone. So G-Bub, who had made his way into 6th place after falling to last, now finds himself second to last again. And this has got to be devastating for him. This race should have been his, and it just hasn't worked out, unfortunately for him. And that, I mean, that's all she wrote. Now, there are still 40 minutes of racing left, but it's quite a lot of work to try to get back up front against these folks. Man, I am seeing very different tire wear on the softs for folks. Now, some of that is going to come from, yes, people pitting at different times in that pit window. But I mean, the gaps in wear are huge. And it's gonna matter. Cyclone Dan in 13th place now behind G-Bub. So something just happened to Cyclone Dan. We just missed that, unfortunately. But a second ago, when we cycled through everyone, G-Bub was second to last. Now he's in 12th. Cyclone Dan is cutting him, is cut between him and Grauman. What is going on back here? Oop. Just heard a lot of tire noise. I don't think anyone went off, though. Just very slidey. We have a battle between ATK and Nico. I want to come back to Nuke and J-Rod, though, because this is the battle for the highest part, or the highest battle, rather. It's a battle for third. It's podium position, so we will stick with this one, though obviously there's action going on behind us as well. Nuke all over the back of J-Rod. They're coming into the final corners of the track. Can Nuke get a better exit out of turn 17 and 18 and make something happen into the braking of turn 1? Will J-Rod defend? And will that defense help? Let's see what it looks like. We're on board with Nuke. J-Rod is going to go defensive. Nuke is going to come with him and try to get a slipstream out of him, to stay in the slipstream rather. There he goes, diving inside. J-Rod trying to pinch him, but it looks like Nuke is going to get this one. Where is J-Rod? He's right next to him, actually. J-Rod stayed to the outside, forcing Nuke to the inside. J-Rod defending hard. He does not want to give third place up. That was brilliant. I was like, where did J-Rod go? I thought he'd be behind. Nope. He was right next to Nuke. He said, you want to go on the inside? You're going to have to keep it through the whole corner. I'm not backing out of it. I will be right here on the outside. And that enabled J-Rod to hold on to that position and live another day. The heroic effort by J-Rod to hang on to this podium position as long as he can. Maybe even force Nuke into a mistake, which would, of course, give J-Rod more breathing room here. Obviously, the longer Nuke stays behind him, the more frustrated he might get. Now, Nuke might just try biding his time. However, those racing softs will wear out. They'll wear out sooner than the mediums did. We saw at the end of the second stint, J-Rod was on those softs and was able to keep Nuke behind him. So maybe there's a chance for Nuke, if he keeps his softs pristine, to try and get J-Rod at the end of this stint. However, obviously being behind him this way in these sweeping corners is not going to help. He's going to be scrubbing those front tires quite a bit. You can hear them in every corner. Maybe a little louder than you would like. That is Grauman letting them pass. That is a blue flag pass. Ooh, and S7 has got to run. Nuke has got to run. It's got to be here that he takes J-Rod. He is going to outbrake him. J-Rod going to stay outside for a moment to try to pressure him. Goes inside. Does he get a run? He doesn't get a run out of it. That's position made by Nuke. Ooh, and purple first sector while doing it. That slipstream probably was a help. Wonder if he can keep it through the second. So far, Black Friday with the fastest lap. 1 minute 46.130. Took that away from G-Bub. Good fight between these two. I expect Nuke to run away with it now. So let's go check in with everyone behind these guys. Big gaps between these cars so far. Here's Flash with only 1.5 seconds between himself and Hardwired there. Still, nothing to really write home about. Way in the back, we got TTJ set in no man's land. 8.5 seconds to the front to Black Friday. 31.5 seconds to G-Bub in 12th. G-Bub, oh, what a disappointment for him after having lost first place in the very first corner in the first stint, got himself into last place, found himself in last place rather, got himself back up to 6th, and now sitting in 12th by 32 seconds. It's been a bad day. Cyclone Dan also not having a great day in 13th place, 20 seconds behind G-Bub. You can see both of these guys started well into the top 10. G-Bub on pole, Cyclone Dan in 6th place rather in the race. So it's just not been good for these two pro drivers in this lobby. Hopefully they can salvage something by getting good fast laps this race. These grid orders that you see are set by the fastest lap in the previous race. It is not, has nothing to do with where you finished in the last race or what lobby you were in. It has everything to do with you setting the fastest lap. Now all these lobbies are in the same track with the same weather, all the same conditions, and so that lap comparison is fair, and it is a racing lap. So, you know, you set the fastest lap while on track, battling with the others in order to set your grid position for the next race. So maybe these two, even though they won't get good points this race, as it stands at least, we still got 30 minutes, but as it stands, they're not going to get good points, but they can put themselves in good positions to get points in the next race. Nuke, J-Rod, yep, Nuke is starting to get away from J-Rod. S7 let it rip, has 14 seconds to these guys. He has absolutely run away while Nuke was being slowed up by J-Rod, and that's what J-Rod wants, right? Just slow everyone up that he can, and that is going to keep, you know, the longer he can keep him from passing him, the better odds he has of keeping a high position in the race. It's not busy now in this mid-pack, 7th, 8th, and 9th, Nico, Flash, and Hardwire, but they might come together, so we'll keep an eye on these three, obviously. And we were just in the back, nothing doing here. Everyone is really far away from one another. Cyclone getting blue flags as he is set to get lapped by, that looks like, is that Hardwire behind him? Ooh, he goes out wide. I guess in an attempt to let the faster cars go by. Sure. Sure. Or maybe he messed up and figured, well, I might as well let him by. Not a good look either way. Again, you know, the race just hasn't gone his way, so maybe showing a bit of defeat there. Hopefully not. You know, you really want everyone to race hard until the very end, regardless of what's going on the track, because, like, that's just what you do. That's the competitive nature. It's like, all right, well, this sucked, and it's really hard to push through and still decide, well, I'm going to do the best I can with what I've got. And I think that's what separates great athletes from merely good ones. And I know that it's something that I struggle with when a race has gone horribly. But I try, at least out of respect for my fellow competitors in these leagues, like I race in the BMW Cup, that even if the race has gone really horribly, I'm still going to get back on track and go as hard as I can until the end, and not just give up, right? Not saying that that's what's happening here with Black Friday. I don't think that's shade. It's not shade at all. I'm vamping. I'm a commentator. I vamp. That's what I do. And I'm competitive. And so I know what it feels like to be in this position. Especially when you come in with like so much confidence that you're going to do great, and it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you're just off your game. But you can last. Autopolis, actually, this track is, I think, a great example of what it means to persevere and just stick with it even when it's not working out the way you want it to. Autopolis was built in 1990, and it was supposed to be like a track where wealthy people in Japan could go see races. And it was hoping to be a Formula One track. If you look at it, the facilities are really high-end. The track itself definitely met FIA's top safety standards at the time. Their hope was to attract a Formula One race. Unfortunately, that never materialized. So Autopolis was built in a really remote area. The only way to get to it is like through mountain roads, like tight mountain roads, you know, the type that aren't really conducive to having race trucks go up, but it can be done, but it's not great. Also, there are no hotels nearby. The closest town is like almost an hour away. The next one is definitely more than an hour away. I don't know how far, but like everything is super far. Like people talk about it taking them hours, like by bus, to get from their hotel to Autopolis. And so it just isn't an easy track to access. And so Formula One, while they wanted to come to it, never ended up coming. The guy who built it went bankrupt, and so the track had to change hands. And I think eventually, I know now Kawasaki owns the track. I don't know how many owners there were between, but Kawasaki owns the track now. They use it, I guess, for testing, but also racing. There's lots of domestic racing that happens here. Nothing international that I know of, but I know like Super GT comes here. There are bike series that come here. I don't know who else, honestly. I think in the very, very early days, FIA Sports Car Endurance Championship came here, but that was like early 90s. I said this one was built in 93, so it's been a long time, but it has remained a track on domestic series calendars, and it stuck around despite like being the super track that nobody could get to. But yeah, the point is, that was a long story. The point is, you know, stick with it. You never know. You never know. Just go hard regardless, because you might find your success somewhere. Somewhere. Much to see here. That car behind ATK is not battling for position. That is Cyclone Dan. He's in 12th place, as you can see there. So we have a lot of mixing in of people. That is Flash behind Cyclone Dan, though. Flash, Nico, and Hardwire. I said they might come together. Ooh, there's Flash going wide out of the, oh my gosh, out of the roller coaster straight, and he just manages to save it, but that does bring Nico right up to his bumper. We said we come back to this, and here we are. Looks like it's popping off. Meow. Should we watch from like Hardwire's bumper or something? I don't think we can watch from his bumper, because then you guys will see info you're not supposed to see, but we will watch from in-car. No, chase cam. Chase cam. There we go. Now we can see everything. Front straight, passing the pits here. He's got a good run on Nico, but Nico's going to go ahead and defend. He's like, nah, not going to happen. I'd rather slow us up, both up. We can catch Flash, but you're not getting past me, baby. And so Hardwire has to settle and just settle for staying close, which sometimes is the battle. You know what I mean? Especially if you have different levels of tire wear. You're dealing with slipstream, you're in dirty air. Sometimes just staying on somebody's bumper out of the corner is like the win. You know what I mean? Ooh, almost an opportunity to get in there in the hairpin here. Nico went out a little wide, but Hardwire not able to get a nose in there. Nico on notice that Hardwire definitely wants to pass, though. They're kind of letting Flash get away here, and I wonder if Hardwire is going to want to back off of Nico and just let him ease closer to Flash, or if he's going to want to head and finish him off, get that pass done to catch up to Flash himself. You got options. You got options. You back off of Nico, give him a chance to breathe and get back up to, you know, 7th place there. That way 7th place is now a possibility for you. Or you keep fighting him, right? And the thing about fighting him is that you may pass him very quickly and be able to go after Flash, no problem. If you know you got it, then like go for it, right? Get that nose in, outbreak him, whatever you got to do to get the position and go after Flash. However, if you're not sure you can make that pass quickly, then you might end up just slowing both of you guys down and letting Flash absolutely run away. So that even if you do eventually get the pass, it now becomes almost impossible to go get Flash. You got to decide what you're going to do. Do you give Nico a bump draft here to let him know, hey, we're cooperating? Or do you try to pass? And it looks like he's going to try a pass on the outside. He's got to nose ahead. Can he hold on to the outside corner? It's pretty slippery out there. We saw J-Rod do it on the mediums versus Let It Rip, but Hardwire not able to do it against Nico, and that lets Flash get ever further away. Those tail lights getting smaller. Flash is 1.7 seconds ahead of Nico right now. Just saw a flash of light on Hardwire's, what do you call it? Wing there. You can see it now. Again, it says join Black Flag Racing on Discord. That is, of course, or sorry, it just says join Black Flag. But it's Black Flag Racing, which is his racing team, BFR. See that BFR livery, glimpses of it. Still trying to get around Nico, still trying to disrupt Nico's line, which again is just slowing Nico up and giving Flash an even bigger gap. 2.3 seconds now. He's gained half a second on the two of these in just a few corners as they continue to battle it out. Hardwire trying to get into Nico's head, maybe trying to get him to throw him offline, get him to make a mistake so that he can get in there, but I think this is actually just hindering the two of them. He's scrubbing those softs up really bad, and he's either got to decide, let me work with Nico, let's see if we can get back up to Flash, we still have 20 minutes in this race, or if he is, you know, balls to the wall, I need this position. And it looks like it's the latter. Nico with a cut across his nose there. That didn't seem very fair. Hardwire was there. He got a nose in. Ooh, and that has brought, who is that? Is that Black Friday? It absolutely is. Black Friday now in the mix because of all this infighting with Hardwire and Nico. So Flash is out of the question. And now Black Friday is a threat. And that, I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but like, I told you so. Cyclone Dan in the pits. What's going on there? We fixing something? No, we're just sitting there. I think Cyclone Dan has given it up, as has G-Bub. These two with not great races. It hasn't been their night, and so they're going to call it, get the car in the garage, get the boys working on it early to pack it up and leave the track for the weekend. We hate to see it, honestly, but Black Friday all over Hardwire. Oh, Hardwire deep into Nico. He's going to knock Nico almost off track. Oh, he's got to give that back. He has got to give that back. I don't know that that was Nico's mess up. I think that was a little bit of elbows out, hip check action there. Black Friday ahead of Hardwire after that. Oh my gosh, I need replay so bad. I want to review that so bad. Wow, Nico 2.5 seconds behind Hardwire. He is out of it. Hardwire still remains within a second of Black Friday. Can he catch up though? Both on the same tires, however, significant differences in tire wear between the two of them. I won't say which way, but that might come into play here as we either watch Black Friday run away from Hardwire or get reeled back in. But those passes were questionable. Two changes in position there. Hardwire over, actually three technically. Hardwire over Nico, and Black Friday over Hardwire. Nico is going to pit. I don't see damage on that car, so this might be a retirement. Yeah, this is a retirement from Nico. He is frustrated about what just happened, and so he's done. He's going to park it. That's unfortunate. We had almost a full lobby here, but, you know, I think I get it. I mean, that was pretty ugly racing, what just happened there. And, whew. That's rough. Stewards reports will be very interesting this week. Hopefully, I remember to check in on them. Technically, as a member of staff, I am supposed to check them and weigh in. But I'll be honest, I always run out of time to do it, and then decisions are already made, and so I almost don't even bother anymore. But I think this week I'm gonna be real interested in Lobby 2 submissions. Yeah, Nico fully retired, Cyclone and G-Bub retired, so 3 retirements out of the race, not disconnects, retirements. Checking on the truth, he's got 44 seconds on S7 later rib. I mean, he has just continued to get faster and faster and faster this race, or not faster, but like to just run away. I mean, I think it's been a lot of consistent lap times. I haven't seen him have fastest lap or anything close to it, but I think he's just stayed consistent throughout the laps. S7, however, with a great race so far. Great job getting into the top 3 in the first stint, and now in second place pretty securely. He's got 7.8 seconds between himself and Nuke. Nuke, who has made his way around J-Rod at some point. We missed it, but that is now a 16.5 second gap back to J-Rod. J-Rod with pretty good time though. He's in 4th. Of course, he's on the mediums. He's the only car on track on the racing mediums, and he's got 17 seconds between himself and Kawazuri. Kawazuri ran in third place for the majority of the first stint, and only at the very end of it did he lose second place to 2 cars and ended up in 5th. Is that math? 4th. And 4th. And now in 5th place. Doesn't look very close to making something happen. However, he's on the softs in comparison to J-Rod's mediums. That said, we're seeing a lot of tire wear on the softs for a lot of cars, and Kawazuri is no exception. ATK037, you know, it's ironic to say he's had kind of a quiet race. Like he's been around, you know what I mean? He's been around. There was definitely some action, but it feels like I haven't mentioned him as much as I've mentioned some others, but he's sitting securely in 6th place here as we start to wind down in this race. Just about 17 minutes left to go. Flash and Black Friday are still together. Flash, well, not still together, sorry. Flash had run away from the cars behind, Hardwire, Nico. Black Friday was making his way up the order, and now Black Friday right on his bumper. Black Friday started this race in 2nd place, so he's definitely got pace, definitely a quick driver. We've just been, you know, waiting to see him get back up there. So he is looking to make a pass on Flash here. Let's see, Hardwire into 9th place. He's 9 seconds behind Black Friday. So Black Friday made that pass and absolutely ran away from him. You guys may remember a couple laps ago, Black Friday and Hardwire got into Nico. Rather, I think Hardwire got into Nico himself. But yeah, TTJ set, quiet race in 10th place. Grauman in 11th place, effectively last as the last 3 cars are all retired for the race. Let's go back to Black Friday and Flash. Oh, that pass is made. We missed it. Dang it. Just trying to do a little recap. Can't wait, Black Friday. You are so impatient. Now he's going to try to run after ATK. Unless Flash can get back at him here. Of course, stuff happens. So we're going to stick with these 2. See if Black Friday gets away. No one else is racing closely that I can see. think it's safe to say that Black Friday is effectively running away from Flash. The gap is 1.7 seconds now. Not huge, but clearly growing. And so Black Friday on a mission to catch ATK. He's got 6.1 seconds to get him and only 13 minutes to do so. So can he do it? Questions that need answers. They have very similar tire wear. ATK in a fight with Kawazuri. I didn't even notice, but Kawazuri was in 5th by a lot, actually. So something must have happened to Kawazuri, though, and that has brought ATK into it with him. Now, this might slow them down enough to give Black Friday a chance. Yes, sure enough, that gap is now 5.8 seconds. ATK wants nothing more than to put a car between himself and Black Friday, and it looks like he's going to be able to do it. He gets around Kawazuri on the outside of turn 1. That is the slow way around. They're still side by side going to the turn 2 kink and now braking for turn 3. Kawazuri has the inside. ATK will have the inside for 4 and 5. However, he has to get behind Kawazuri, but this is giving Black Friday hope. Yep, 5.2 seconds, 5.1 into the first hairpin they go. Still back and forth. ATK 037 has to be looking at that time behind him, but hopefully not too much. He needs to focus on the race in front, obviously, and find a way to get in front of Kawazuri, or else 6th place is in jeopardy. 6th place is in jeopardy regardless, so he needs to not be the 6th place car is what he wants. He's gonna have to find a way to do it. Black Friday are coming. Oh Lord, he coming. He's backed off Kawazuri a bit here. Both of these drivers on very worn soft tires. However, one has significantly better rears. Worn fronts, one with really good rears. That might make the difference coming out of some of these slower corners, of course, but only if they can take that advantage before Black Friday gets there. That 6-second gap is now down to 3.8. What kind of run did ATK get out of turn 18? He is right back on Kawazuri's bumper. Kawazuri going defensive into turn 1. ATK going to try the outside again. Will he try an undercut? He breaks a little sooner than Kawazuri does. Undercut's not going to work. Is he going to stick around the outside? No, he can't. So Kawazuri well defended once again. 3.3 seconds for Black Friday. B-Day, if you will. BF Day? Black Friday Day? B-Day. I like B-Day. It's like Beyonce. It's official. Black Friday is Beyonce. ATK has got to feel the warmth of Black Friday's headlights on him now. 2.7 seconds back. And Black Friday is probably foaming at the mouth, salivating as he sees these two go at it ahead of him, because he knows that's what's helping him catch up. And it's a little platter for him right now. Instead of just catching ATK 037, maybe there's a chance at 2 positions here, which will bring him back into the top 5, which will make this race salvaged. I would call it salvaged. From 2nd place to I think he held last place a couple times, or maybe 2nd to last, and now back to 2nd. Sorry, back to 5th would be an excellent look for him. What has ATK 037 got for Kawazuri? And what has Kawazuri got for the 2 cars behind him? I mean, besides solid defense. ATK with a little more room this time coming out of turn 18. Is it enough? He might be too far. He's got a good slipstream, but yeah, he's too far to do anything. All he can do is stick to Kawazuri's bumper as they go to turn 1. Black Friday now within 2 seconds. So ATK has to be feeling that pressure. Breaks a little bit later than Kawazuri into turn 3. Gets a little bit closer. Now has to follow through some of the bigger sweepers, the longer sweepers, some of the areas where dirty air will affect you the most. Get out of the hairpin really clean. First hairpin. Now into the left-hand sweeper. Everyone's right-hand side tires look a little bit better than their left, so that one shouldn't be a problem. Now they're going to go into the second hairpin. Is it going to make a move here? Hard to do so. Kawazuri preemptively going a little bit defensive. Doesn't want to commit too much. That corner is cambered really weirdly, and if you get into it way on the inside, you'll just get launched straight. You're not turning. So Kawazuri basically just makes the Genesis a little bit wider. Black Friday is now 1 second away. And yes, the glow of his headlights are now, rather, ATK's back wing is now basking in the glow of Black Friday's headlights. We'll go to chase cam just in case Black Friday gets fully involved here. And it looks like any moment now before he does, this is the chance for ATK. He's got to make this pass such that it's not easy for Black Friday to simply follow him through. He needs Kawazuri and Black Friday to fight. 7 minutes left in the race. Kawazuri looking to break the toe, goes inside, dives inside against ATK. ATK doing a good job following. Kawazuri is going to dive and to the inside to go defensive. Oh, ATK outbreaks himself, and he's going to go wide. He's going to lose that position to Black Friday, and that's all she wrote for ATK. Now Black Friday chasing Kawazuri. That was unfortunate end to the battle. I wanted to see it end with, you know, either a pass or one last attempt at one. ATK just getting a little mesmerized and breaking a little too late there. Kawazuri easily holds on to 5th place, but now Black Friday definitely brought into play. He's 1.1 seconds behind Kawazuri. That said, he's getting a blue flag. Somebody behind. Well, he's not getting him anymore, but he might get him again. Somebody behind is lapping them, I believe, and that might affect the outcome of this race, though I don't really see anyone super close on the track, honestly. So might not. I mean, we're getting into only having 5 minutes left here. Yep, it's the truth. It's the leader of the race coming up behind them. So will he catch them before Black Friday can catch Kawazuri? Will it affect Black Friday's ability to pass Kawazuri? With Spicy, the truth has 48 seconds to S7, let it rip, so nothing doing there. Nuke, J-Rod, all far away. Kawazuri in 5th, and Black Friday is the highest battle on screen. We're gonna wait, we're gonna hold on to it. Black Friday is right there, and he's already trying Kawazuri's defenses. We'll go back to chase cam and watch him. He is probing. He's looking left and right in those other corners, just trying to see where Kawazuri is weak. Kawazuri gonna defend, tries to look like he's not, decides to do it anyway. Black Friday very, very patient in the braking, but Kawazuri makes that Genesis big. And unfortunately, Black Friday not able to get a run out of the corner on him. Kawazuri, again, just really good job defending. However, it doesn't look great for him. Black Friday with a nose in, however, just the wrong place on the track. Little tap there between them. Black Friday just not giving him any breathing room. Bumper to bumper, these two are. Black Friday showing, I've got pace. He gets inside of him. He gets to the inside in the long left-hand sweeper, and he's going to make that pass. I'm going to show the tire situation. Ooh, Kawazuri dives back inside on him. Very cheeky. He's like, I don't like the way you pushed me out there. I think there was a little bit of a nudge. And so Kawazuri going to take that position back from him there. There has been a little bit of touching, just some tapping offline. So I think Kawazuri showing I can be aggressive too. Only 4 minutes left in the race. That's about 2 more laps for these two drivers to continue battling here. Black Friday very, very patient on the throttle, very patient in these corners, staying inside so he can get the best exit he can out of them. He gets Kawazuri offline there in turn 17, now past him into turn 18. just a nudge. Kawazuri left it just open enough, and that is the Truth Serum behind them. That is our leader behind Kawazuri there that you can see, and he's going to need to get around. Kawazuri not wanting to give it up. Black Friday not giving it up just yet either. He wants to keep the Truth Serum there in hopes that it'll slow Kawazuri up. However, it might be decided that he's not done this right. There he goes, tapping the Truth Serum there. I guess just wanting to stay as close as possible. But Black Friday a bit aggressive in defending this position. Kawazuri aggressive into the second hairpin. He's going to get past him. Black Friday didn't like that. He's going to flash, but I think Kawazuri has had more than enough of Black Friday's antics in this battle here. And, you know, I can't blame him. Can't say that I blame him. And it's like one of those things. You want to race hard? Okay, let's race hard. You know, it's... stewards might have some things to look at, but honestly, I think what was given back between the two of them. And so Kawazuri aggressive in trying to keep his position. As you can see, Black Friday's fronts are completely worn down. Kawazuri's fronts completely worn down, as is that rear left. That's probably what's been letting Black Friday get out of corners a little bit better than him. But Kawazuri needs to keep that car tight to the inside. Black Friday doesn't have the front end grip to make passes on the outside. Not really. So if Kawazuri can keep his line tight and just carry speed, he may be able to keep Black Friday behind him. But coming out of tight corners like this, Black Friday has the clear advantage. He has got more rubber on those rear tires. Who's that behind them? Is that's Hardwire and ATK. They are not far back, and they're battling it out as well. But Black Friday and Kawazuri's fight has brought these two into the mix. And way behind Hardwire's Flash. He's not in the battle, but we've got ATK and Hardwire here. Maybe they could work together to get up against Black Friday and Kawazuri. There is a chance. You just never know. You have to decide. With the race ending, this will be the last lap for sure. We're at the 1 hour 59 minute mark. You have to decide if I'm Hardwire, do I dive and take this position on ATK just to end the race, or do we see if we can catch these two ahead of us? I don't think that's going to happen. Kawazuri with a bit of a gap on Black Friday isn't going to be enough. Where's the truth? The truth is at the second hairpin, so this will be our last lap. We're going to hit the 2 hour mark. The truth is not going to pass the start-finish line before then. So let's go back to this. These are the last chances for both Black Friday on Kawazuri and Hardwire on ATK. Hardwire making a move at the bottom of the roller coaster straight. Oh, he's leaning on ATK. They are both side by side. ATK's not giving it up if he can keep it. He's got the inside for one corner, but then Hardwire will have the inside for the next two. Hardwire gets it. Gets 7th place there. ATK flashing the lights. Does that mean he doesn't like it? Is he trying to throw Hardwire off? What's going on? That just happened. Black Friday. This is the final lap. We're getting the final lap flash now. Kawazuri well ahead of Black Friday, unless he messes up turn 18. Nope, he gets it right. He's going to keep 5th place. Well done by Kawazuri not to give that up so easily, though. Black Friday really wanted him to. Hardwire over ATK at the last minute, and then Flash in 9th place. I'm losing my order here, which is interesting. Anyway, the truth with the dominant win. Absolutely dominant performance in this race from lap 1, turn 1. It has been unquestionable. The truth is definitely the Autopolis master. S7 into 2nd place. Congratulations to S7. S7 let it rip, rather, with a great run. S7, our nuke, into 3rd. Well done by him. And J-Rod, also one of the men of the hour, getting up to 4th place. Getting way up in the order in the first stint and managing to hold on to a top 5 position. I almost want to get him in the podium interviews because he deserves. But we're going to be right back. I am going to get these guys in interview rooms, and I'll see you soon. Stay tuned to talk to the podium winners.
That's why I was all the way back to 7th.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I have our 3 podium winners, the Truth Serum, S7 Let It Rip, and S7R Nuke. Hey, guys.
Hello.
You done?
Did I get that right?
Good
Okay, I want to
evening.
make sure. I was like, why do I feel like that's wrong? No, I got it right. Those are our 3 podium winners. The Truth in first, of course. Let It Rip in second, and Nuke in third. Nuke, we'll talk about your race. I feel like it was kind of quiet after the first stint.
Well, yeah, after I spun about halfway through the first stint all by myself, coming onto the front stretch, I caught the grass, spun the car, got rear damage,
Oof.
went from like 3rd or 4th. I was right behind Calzari and Cyclone Dan, just really eating up time on him, and lost about 3 spots and had some damage, but was able to bring it into the pit. My tire wear was great. Brought it into the pit, fixed the damage, came back out, and finished behind my teammates,
Wow,
which
that's
is a good
amazing.
thing.
I remember seeing you having lost those positions, but I didn't catch what happened. So interesting to know that you just spun yourself. But wow, you even pitted to fix the damage and still got back onto the podium. That's amazing pace.
Yeah, I waited till the regular stop to fix the damage. I just lived with it. I was losing about
Ah,
6, 8 miles an hour down the front stretch, but it was okay.
got it, heard. Well, congratulations to you. That's a
Thank
fantastic
you.
race then. I didn't even know that you. I wasn't sure what had happened. I saw that you'd lost positions, but I had no idea that it was a whole spin with damage. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, I felt great about myself there for about 10 laps.
Well, you did. You did great. You did great. Feel good about yourself again. Let it rip.
Hey.
Second place. I don't know how long you followed J Rod, but it seems like you just kind of rode his coattails in the front of the order, right? In the first stint.
Oh, the whole first stand was just me and Jared. We eventually he passed me, and I was able to stay behind him, but he was pulling up away from me at the end of the first stint. Uh, Obviously, I didn't know that he was on softs.
Wow.
But yeah, good race overall. Uh, just a little. I don't know if I should call it a dive that I did on. I think it was. Oh, forgot his name, but whatever. Turn 1, I did a little dive because I was getting desperate. I think I might have missed my braking point a little bit, but I did the turn. I don't think I hit anyone. It didn't look. I don't think it looked good, but hey.
We'll see. If the stewards have a ticket, then they have a ticket. If not, congratulations on second place.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they don't.
Yeah.
We'll see. If
Well done.
if not, if they didn't knew about it, I just told them.
Right. Right. Uh,
But yeah, good rate. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Thank you. Truth. I think that even if the top 3 hadn't fallen off track in turn 1, you probably still would have won this race because why were you so fast?
Uh, I don't know. It's kind of weird how that happens, eh? Like, you practice all week. You're not like necessarily clearly faster than the other guys, and then you show up and all of a sudden you're just dominating. It's like things just kind of went my way. The
Yeah.
only thing that the only thing that didn't go my way, if you want to say that, was my fast lap was way off what I was doing during the week, so I'm a little concerned about that for next week, but I can't really complain about it.
Heard.
And then like Cyclone, yeah, I think it was just my day, I guess. I don't know, but I wanted to say though, there's a lot of people that let me through during the race. People were very curious, so I just want to tell everybody who's watching the broadcast that I appreciated like everybody's sportsmanship. Whenever you get a chance to lap me, I'll move over for you as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. That's good to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Do oil changes affect car performance in this game the way it did in like GT5 or 6?
They do, but not if BOP's on. So even if your car's
Oh,
junk, once the POP is on, the oil doesn't affect it anymore.
I had no idea. I wondered. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then it couldn't be that.
No, I think it was just like, I don't know. I think I usually do half decent at this track, and this was an absolute like tire murderer race, and I'm pretty good with tires, and I think it was just the combination of the tires, and I don't know. But anyways,
yeah,
whatever.
That's true. You probably weren't going for absolute fastest, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I have, like, it's gonna sound cheesy, but it's the truth. Like, I have great teammates. Like, we practice a lot during the week, and like I get like quality practice, right? So
that's awesome. Well, congratulations on the win. That was dominant. Hopefully you three end up with good positions to start the next race in a couple of weeks here. Does anyone want to say anything else while we're here?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to since it's a Sector 7 racing podium here, I want to give a shout out to our driver coaches, which is Ando and Mazda. They help us a lot during the week, and they practice with us. So Truth said it, we do a lot of team practice, talk strategy, help each other, watch each other. So it's just it's a good team environment and team sport, and it was a team win today.
That's amazing.
100%.
Yeah, all three of you. That's amazing. Well, shout out S7R. I will let you three go, and I'll get back to the audience here.
Okay, thanks, Teddy.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Teddy.
Good night.
Yep.
Bye. Good night.
Well, you guys heard it from our three podium winners. Check us out next time, December 2nd. We'll be in the AMG SLS at Dragon Trail Gardens, one of my favorite tracks. We'll be in the GT4 AMG SLS, by the way. So slower cars on a smaller track always make for a nice combination. Can't wait to see you guys there. It should stay pretty close given how small that track is too. So super excited about that. Let us know on Twitter what you thought about this race, or on YouTube, of course. We're available on Twitter at GTCHAMPIONS. Same on YouTube and all the things, actually. Instagram, Facebook, just look for GT Champions. Let us know what you think, and we will catch you guys next time.